That's so brilliant! This video is sponsored by Case Filters. When you started with photography, you learned all the technical stuff behind, such as how to use a camera, how to use light, how to frame a composition and things like that. And maybe you got already good in all that, but sooner or later you come to that point where you realize that you need to find your own style to get a better photographer, to get unique photos that stand out from the mainstream. And style is super important here, but there are some traps to avoid. Hi my friends, very nice to see you. It's quite interesting. I get more and more asked, Christian, how can I find my own style, or have a look at my edits, how can I get my style better? Now, I think that style gets often misunderstood. When people hear the word style, they think about a kind of corporate design or so. They have to create to get a unique look at the image when they edit them. And so photographers often think just by creating a set of nice presets, they would have developed their own style already. But that's not the case. Style is much more than that. It's already the way how you choose the scene out on location you want to photograph, how you compose your composition. It's the choice of the light, and even if you print, it's the paper choice. It is everything that defines your final photos actually. And as every photographer has his own concept of doing all these things, there get some repeating patterns visible in the final image of a photographer. I mean, it's logical. Every photographer has his own preferences. The one prefers to photograph in the rain, another one likes to use very close foregrounds, another one prefers hazy images or whatever. And the cool thing in art is that there is no right or wrong. So you could do whatever you want, and you should do whatever you want. So it's not a good idea to limit yourself to anything just because you have defined it to be your style. Photographing what you love will finally lead to your style. But the important thing here is observe your preferences. Observe the repeating patterns in your image to understand your style. Because one of the base requirements that a photo gets to art is the artistry integrity, or the integrity of the artist. So style is the visual appearance of the artist's integrity. And you should not try to fake that just by putting any presets over your image. You should also not try to copy the entire style of any other artist or other photographer. Otherwise, you would integrate someone else in your photos instead of yourself. And I guess that's not what you want, right? What you should do instead is try to get inspired by the images of other photographers, not to copy their style. It is more about finding out what is possible and what you like, just to extend your possibilities. So get inspired, try out different things, and observe your preferences to find out how you can express yourself in your image. And this is what style is all about, to be honest. It is the visual communication of how to express yourself as an artist. So find out how to express yourself. And in the next step, try to boost your personal expression in your photos. What I found out in my photography, for instance, was that I like to get my image more in a painterly style by considering color. Not only in my editing, as a landscape photography, I consider color already out on location. I will put you a link up here to another video where I go a bit more in detail. But the point is, as I found out that I like to use color for my expression, I started to look already for compositions just by considering color out on location. And this changed everything for me. Today this is part of my artistry expression, and it also encouraged me to use even more vibrant colors in my editing. As 7 or 8 years ago I had never done that because I feared running into an over-editing or so. But it works because it got part of my personal concept. It's a part of my artistry style. And there's more we should consider about the style. But before I will tell you that, my friends, if you like this video, please give me a thumb up. You know, it helps me, it helps the algorithm, and it helps also other photographers out there to find this video better on YouTube. Thank you therefore. Another important thing to consider is that you don't need to limit yourself to one style only. One photographer could have multiple different styles. Take me, I love color, but I also love to shoot black and white from time to time. That's a totally different concept. It's another style, but also with my personal expression, given with all the shapes and lines and the way how I build up composition. It's the integrity I give to an image. And another common trap is to think that style would be a constant, but that's not the case. Style is just your current artistry expression. Also your emotion run into your style. Maybe you are quite happy at the moment, what's fine, and this is noticeable in your photos. But maybe you will be quite sad next year. I mean, we don't want to hope this, of course, but also that would be reflected in your image. Also that would be part of your style there. So when we boil it down, the process of developing your style will never end actually. Style is not a goal, it's a journey. And this is why I don't like to use presets, to be honest. I mean, it's not totally wrong to use presets if you have built your own ones. We should just consider that they put a bit the brakes on the development of your style. But as soon as you want to make a living from your photography, you will have to make some compromises here, and maybe you will come to that point where presets start to make a little bit sense, at least in some cases. What I do is I don't use overall presets, but I use local ones for my Lightroom brushes. But I also don't use them all the time, to be honest. Maybe 50–60% of all the cases or so when I use a brush or a radiant filter. It is just when I know already how I want to emphasize the bark of a tree, for instance, or how I want to emphasize a light spot in the field or something like that, where I would anyway use already the same sliders as always to achieve what I want. I simply use a preset for my brush and then I adjust the slider slightly. But I totally avoid presets that change the entire mood of an image, because yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest. There are so many different types of mood, different types of composition, different colors, different messages I want to say in my image to say, and this is something I do totally individually for every single photograph. So when we break it down, I observe my style and then I access it wisely. It is just important for me I don't limit myself out in the field so that I don't photograph a scene I would love actually, but I don't do that just because yeah, it would not be my style or so. Yeah, that doesn't really make sense to me, to be honest. But anyway, your personal style can even help you to find compositions out in the field. That's quite useful when you struggle with finding compositions. That could change everything for you. And in case you really struggle with finding compositions, watch this video here next where I go in detail. My friends, I hope you liked this video. If yes, give me a thumb up and don't forget to tune in next week. There will come a fantastic video as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.